Well, reality is beginning to settle in, and that's creating panic. On the GOP side, the reality is setting in that basically the primary is over, and it's Donald Trump. And on the Democrat side, it's Joe Biden, and the Democrats haven't got a clue how to get rid of Joe Biden.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth. Somebody to the top of the line.
Hi, this is Pastor Marty. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Once you are, smack the bell, click the word all to get notification of my rants, my ravings, and my absolutely flawless reasonings. And then please like and share this video. That's how we get the word out. That's how we build our algorithm. Thanks for watching the Afternoon Drive. The DeSantis camp suffered two big blows over the weekend, to which I would respond. First blow came on, I believe it was Friday night, when President Donald Trump was giving a major speech in South Dakota, there at the invitation of Governor Kristi Noem. It was then she officially endorsed him. Bum, ba-dum, bum. And this, of course, caused Team DeSantis to lose its mind and, of course, jump onto social media and start trashing her. Just 24 hours earlier, they were praising her. But they went into full meltdown mode, which means they had to thrash and trash her and basically talk about how the Heritage Foundation only gives her a 50% approval rating. So we're going to go back to neocon, Reagan, establishment GOPism. Love Ronald Reagan, but the conservatives of that era, which the Mike Pences and the Nikki Haley's would like to take us back to, which basically means conservatism. The real conservatism, where we are fiscally conservative and we give tax breaks to corporations and we warmonger around the planet. That ain't conservatism anymore. Conservatism is America first. America first, we're going to take care of America. We've got hundreds of billions of dollars to give to a place like Ukraine that is not, under any stretch of the imagination, a democracy, but is just as corrupt as Russia itself. If we've got hundreds of billions of dollars to send there, we've got hundreds of billions of dollars to spend here to take care of America, to rebuild our infrastructure, to take care of American jobs and families. And by the way, let's go ahead and get some national health care in there. So the neocons have not embraced the fact that the Republican Party, it's Trump's, and he is dominating in this primary cycle. And now with Kristi Noem officially endorsing him, that takes away one of the key punches that Ron DeSantis has tried to use against Trump, and that is his whole COVID record. Ron DeSantis tries to talk about, I'm the governor that set people free. Yeah, but not first. Not at first. Kristi Noem is the governor, the only one in the country that never enslaved anybody. She had zero mandates, zero requirements. She let the people of South Dakota figure it out for themselves. And you know what? On a national average, they did great. And so now the fact that Ron DeSantis loves to try to go after Trump, that he was the one that introduced the lockdowns and the mandates, which really came on the council of Mike Pence, who was put in charge of Team COVID during the Trump years. And remember Mike Pence and his long-standing association with Dr. Anthony Fauci and Bill Gates, and for years having traveled together around the world talking about mass inoculation and vaccination. What Donald Trump needs to do on the whole COVID issue is put it all on Pence, that he was acting on the advice of his vice president, period. So Ron DeSantis did not get good news that Kristi Noem, the freest governor in the country, is now backing and supporting Donald Trump, and it looks like she's on the short list to be the VP. Then we go into Saturday, and of course that was the kickoff for college football, and Donald Trump and several other presidential candidates on the GOP side were in Iowa. And Donald Trump showed up at a tailgating party, and he did well there. He flipped a few burgers, and the people loved it. And, we had to see scenes of Vivek and DeSantis at tailgate parties, and the people there were loving him. Kinda. But then Trump went to the game. And the crowd went wild. And as he was leaving the game, USA, 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 they loved Trump. Ronnie was at the football game. Nobody was cheering when he showed up or when he left. He kind of came and went out. He's a little wallflower. Sorry, Ron. You've embarrassed yourself enough. Call it quits. This GOP primary is over. We know that the president is under indictment and there are things coming at him, but this primary is locked up, and even if these lunatics try to keep his name off the battle, he will be a write-in candidate. This is going to be a landslide election, the likes of which we have never seen in our lifetime. And this really is the momentum is for Team Trump. And the GOP better get its head around that, because that's exactly where this is headed, baby. And it's Trump or nothing. And I am all on board. On the flip side of the establishment coin, we have the Democrats. And they know that Joe can't do this. Can't do this. This will be a bloodbath if Joe Biden is at the top of the ticket. And it starts with Chunk Yogurt over at the Young Jerks pleading, even petitioning now, for Joe Biden to go away.
I'm tired of these guys. We're doing a petition. And so, look, the petition is get out. I put it a lot more politely than that because a lot of people love Joe Biden for whatever reason. They just think he's too old and he's going to lose. I 100% agree that he's going to lose. So we're doing a petition. President Biden, please drop out. And I put it very nicely. President Joe Biden has had a long and historied career in American government. He rescued us from the possibility of a second Trump term, and we appreciate his service to the country. But at this point in time, we must have a strong, healthy candidate to make sure we avoid a fascist takeover of our government, etc.
That little line in there, we can't let the fascists take over. It's the same line that the Democrats are still trying to use, and even Green Party candidate like Cornel West are trying to use it. We can't have Trump because Trump is the fascist. Really? Trump is the fascist? Joe Biden's not the fascist. Joe Biden hasn't stripped us of rights. Joe Biden isn't the one who got up and said that our rights, things like the amendments in the Constitution, are not guaranteed. And they're certainly not guaranteed forever. And he wasn't just talking about the Second Amendment there. He was talking about your right to free speech. And we see what the Biden administration, working with the alphabet intel communities, CIA, FBI, putting pressure on big tech to censor anyone and anything they don't like. And never have we had more propaganda being pushed down our throats as quote unquote news, as news reporters just simply go out there and repeat CIA talking points, FBI talking points, military industrial complex talking points. You're not getting news, especially on things like Russia and Ukraine. Who's the fascist? Was it Donald Trump or Joe Biden that crushed the railroad workers' strike? Was it Donald Trump or Joe Biden that has started wars? Yes. Not only did he re-ramp up our never-ending wars over in the Middle East, but, we're fighting a proxy war with Russia, and he's saber-rattling now with another nuclear power, China. Was he a fascist on the environment? It was Joe Biden who blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. It's Joe Biden and his administration that if you say anything against Rovid and the magic love potion number 9, you will be censored and removed from social media. Who are the real fascists? Is it the Republicans? Or is it the Democrats?
You took an oath to the Constitution. Isn't it unconstitutional to say you cannot exercise your carry license?
With one exception, and that is if there's an emergency, and I've declared an emergency for a temporary amount of time, I can invoke additional powers. No constitutional right, in my view, including my oath, is intended to be absolute.
What did you say?
No constitutional right, in my view, including my oath, is intended to be absolute.
That's what I thought you said.
That's the New Mexico governor basically saying that anytime they want to do away with any constitutional freedom or the Constitution at all they have to do is declare an emergency. Bum, ba-dum, bum. That is a tell sign right there. They're warning you what's coming. And it isn't scary orange man Donald Trump doing that. It's the Democrats doing that. And nobody has been pointing this out stronger than Jimmy Dore.
This wasn't the biggest. 41% of black-owned businesses collapsed during COVID. So that's not a big deal. They fired 70,000 workers in one state. That's not a big deal. Oh my God. We lost freedom of speech. We had forced medical treatments. And this isn't fascism. Joe Biden's administration wanting to censor people.
It's a dimension of it.
It's a dimension. So when he crushed the union strike, which set the template for unions across the country that you can't strike, it would have changed the whole tone. That's not, of course, that's fast. Even get to the WEF, the digital currency, the way they shut down the protests. COVID was the definition of fascism and authoritarianism, and it rolls right off him like water off a duck's ass. So I want to make one point about when he talks about Trump and January 6th and Trump trying to overthrow an election or not have that transfer of power.
Yeah.
If Trump tried to use the military to stop the transfer of power, if Trump tried to use the military to stop the transfer of power, then Cornel West would have a case, and so would the Democrats. He's making the Democrats' case for them.
He did something worse. On lawyers' advice, told Mike Pence to look into it.
Yes. But Trump didn't use the military. What Trump did was he tried to pressure Pence and others in a sloppy scheme. He may have been nutty, but he wasn't fascist. That's not what Democrats weaponized the intel agencies with Russiagate to undermine the elected president. That was a lot more serious effort and a lot more consequential. Would Cornell call them a fascist? The answer is no. He would say there's elements. So the Democratic Party joining with the intelligence community to undermine the president, that's not fascism.
So this is where we're at. The Democrats are the fascists. The Democrats are the fascists. Not only did the economy work under Donald Trump, you were free under Donald Trump. And here's what's frightening to some on the left and many within the Democratic Party. They know that's the truth. They know it. So, for you and I who are Trump supporters, this is a good day. Let me encourage you. We know they're going to keep hitting Trump with everything they can and do everything they can now to go all in on the indictments for conviction. Then my prediction is he will be the first president ever elected while under house arrest. We need to make this Trump or nothing, because this isn't just about Donald Trump. This is about we the people. See, the Democrats, the fascists, have made this about you will do what the establishment tells you. You will bend over as we spank you and you will say, "Thank you, sir, may I have another?" You will not complain and you will not say anything when we take rights and privileges away from you. You will not question us on bodily autonomy when it comes to being vaxxed. You will not question us when we seize private property. You will do as you're told when we tell you you've got to get rid of your gas stove because we're, quote, saving the planet. You will go along with our woke ideology when it comes to matters of social issues. See, the election of Donald Trump is important because it doesn't just, quote unquote, put a stop to that. It puts power back in the hands of we the people. That's what this election is about. We the people. The Democrats pay lip service to our constitutional democracy. And they love to point at Donald Trump and the MAGA people saying they're trying to destroy the Constitution, they're trying to destroy democracy, they tried to overthrow the government. Really? So a bunch of right-wing gun nuts showed up for an insurrection unarmed. Chew on that. Think on that. And then understand who the real fascists are. This election is about we, the people. And is that still alive in this country?
The Constitution, the Second Amendment, was never absolute.